So this is section 1 of things you can do to improve your cold approach success rate. So what we're looking at here is getting away from approaching girls time after time and getting blown out and then getting disheartened and then giving up. What we're going to try and do in this little series is pick out the low-hanging fruit, things you can do quickly and easily to start to make inroads into improving your cold approach success rate. In other words, the amount of girls that you approach and the amount of girls that you actually end up in bed with, we want to improve that ratio. So one of the first concepts you need to understand is the concept of the ping range. So the ping range is girls that are naturally predisposed to like the look of you and to be somewhat interested in you, at least from the initial impression. So as you're walking around, girls that kind of check you out. And there are things that you can do to widen your ping range. But basically the way I see it is everyone has like a fundamental, a base ping range. And that is some girls are just going to fancy you anyway, even if you're in the worst shape of your life. And you're not in a particularly good state. And let's say your business isn't going well and you haven't got much money. So you're not standing in the correct way, your posture's not great, but they're just going to like you anyway, so they're within your ping range. And there are specific things that you can do to widen your ping range, and that's what we're going to start with at the moment in this introduction, is to start talking about widening your ping range. So I hope you understand the concept of the ping range, first of all. So the first thing we can do, the first two things we can do, in fact, as we're walking around just going about our day-to-day life, is to kind of switch on to code yellow. So code red is where you are completely oblivious to your surroundings, not noticing girls at all, not noticing a girl if she came up and grabbed you by the balls. You still wouldn't notice. That's code red. Code green is where you're really switched on and you're scanning around looking for girls all the time, and you're really probably in a somewhat sexual state. You're kind of turned on and you're just ready to go and approach girls. And code yellow is you're just kind of bopping around doing your day-to-day business, but you're still noticing. You're not actively looking, but you're aware of girls and what they're looking at and whether they're looking you in the eye and whether they're pinging you. So you're on code yellow. You're in a sort of semi-state of awareness and readiness to kind of approach a girl if she gives you some sort of signal, and you're noticing your surroundings as you're going around but not actively scanning them. So that's code yellow, and that's what we're talking about. That's the state that we want to be in from now on for the rest of our lives as we're walking around going in our day-to-day lives. We have to be switched on and improving our awareness. Now, I talk about this a lot in the Secret Society. There's about an hour on introducing this concept of awareness and how you can switch it on. But briefly, we need to be aware that we need to be on code yellow and not code red, and so many guys are. So have a think about that. Think about what that means to be kind of switched on and aware of your surroundings. And like I say, there's a big long section in Secret Society. So code yellow from now on. Now, in terms of proving the ping range. Now, I did a video a while back, and it's a good video. Now, unfortunately, the audio is not great, but there's a couple of concepts that you need to understand which begins to introduce widening your ping range as you're walking around. There's things that you can do to do that, okay? One of them is monitoring and improving your posture in real time. The second is improving your posture with specific exercises at the gym. And the third is subtly forcing IOIs and this concept of code yellow as you're walking around. So let's play the video. Again, apologies for the audio. This audio is obviously much better, but you can certainly hear it, and you can get used to this and try and do this in your day-to-day life from now on when you're walking around and you're in code yellow. So let's watch the video about subtly forcing IOIs, exercises at the gym to improve the posture, and monitoring and improving your posture in real time to start to widen the ping range. So let's talk about body language. There is nothing worse on a man than weak-ass, pathetic body language. So this is something that any guy can go out and make improvements with immediately, just by doing some basic corrections in your day-to-day life, or when you go out and you're walking around and you think you might see a girl. So I've been doing this for years, and what I do is every time I'm walking around, or even just generally just walking around the daytime, even if I'm not particularly scanning for girls, but it's almost a habit now, is I make sure my shoulders are back and my chest is out, and I'm breathing nicely through the nose and then out through the mouth. Now, I used to suffer, well, I still do to an extent, suffer from anxiety. So the way that you get over that, or the way that you deal with it in real time, maybe you never fully get over it, is to monitor your breathing. like this. So as you're walking around, monitor your posture and body language. So a lot of guys tend to do this. They tend to slouch forward with the shoulders and almost like hunch over, and especially as you get older into your 40s, you start to slouch over and like this, and you look, kind of weak and defeated. Maybe with the head forward a little bit, possibly retardedly, with the tongue slightly sticking out. I'm embellishing it. I'm making it look ridiculous. But imagine if you're a girl and this comes up to you. You look like a fucking weak ass, a bitch, idiot. You don't look very strong. You don't look very masculine. So, shoulders back, chest out, nice and strong. Breathing deeply. Powerful. That's what you want to do. Now, you might be thinking, what exercises can I do at the gym to improve my body language? Because I've said for years, you should be doing exercises at the gym, but a lot of guys don't do it. I'd estimate, of the guys that I've done the training with, some of them turn up all hench and strong, but a lot of guys turn up, not good body language, not going to the gym. So, what I do at the gym is a lot of pulls, a lot of stuff for the back. So, I do face pulls, hold it out here, and into your face. I do bent over rows. I can't bend over, but you can Google it, or you look at it on YouTube. Bent over, keep the back straight and pulling the bar up, elbows in for the back of the shoulders. What else do I do? Lots of deadlifts. A lot of guys do deadlifts wrong. I wish I could angle the camera down. I can't do it. But basically, if you, when you do deadlifts, what you want to do is simulate the action of shagging almost. So there's a particular exercise you can do with ropes. So you grab the rope and you're pushing with your hips and thrusting with your hips. I can't show it, unfortunately. You're thrusting with your hips and tensing your ass cheeks as you finish the deadlift. So you want to be lifting from the back of your heels and pushing up like this and finishing with your hips thrust out in a rather grotesque and obscene manner, looking like you're shagging somebody. Now, when you get the body language right, body language is one of the ways that you can do what I call is the net. It's almost like a fishing net when you're trawling, going around, and you're trying to get reactions from girls. I talk about forcing IOIs a lot in the Secret Society. This is one of the things that I do. Now, it depends on the mood that you're in, the kind of IOI that you'll be forcing. But generally speaking, if you're looking strong and powerful as you're walking around, and you're looking with your head, I keep saying it, people say, well, what do you mean by this? But I mean your head pointing forward, eyes pointing directly forward, and as you're walking around, remember I talked about switching on your awareness. You switch on your awareness, amber, and you're looking around with your eyes, and if you see a girl you like the look of, you can make eye contact, give her a little nod, something like that, some sort of acknowledgement, send out a ping and see if something comes back at you. This is one of the ways that you're forcing IOIs very passively, no, not passively, you're forcing IOIs as you're going around in a very subtle way. So this is how you're walking around. You can always be pinging girls and see if they've got any interest in you, and then you go and approach, off an IOI, and you've got a good chance of success. So, just to reiterate, shoulders back, chest out, breathing deeply, nice and strong, and forcing IOIs with the pinging as you're going around. So you should be doing that naturally as you're walking around strong. Very few guys do this, and it makes you stand out. This is one of the ways in which you can stand out. Now, if you're talking to a girl and you suspect that your posture is starting to slacken a little bit, just adjust it. Doesn't look weird, just adjust it and pull the shoulders back nice and strong, and you notice you'll probably start to feel more confident as well. There was a YouTube video about this by a lady called Amy Cuddy, and it basically, the premise is, the thrust of the video is that if you adjust your body language, you start to feel more confident as you adjust it. It's true, I believe this is true. So, by the act of adjusting your body language strongly, you start to feel more confident as you're walking around. So if you are talking to a girl, like I say, and it's looking a bit weak, just adjust it, pull it back, and you'll automatically feel stronger.